Well, happy Wednesday, everybody. My name is Ian Utilli. I'm one of the co-producers at NFT NYC, and I am here with Ronan the Collector, who is wearing an amazing sweatshirt. And now I just hear metal in my head. Ronan, can you please introduce yourself to folks that may not know who you are?
Yeah, as you said, I'm Ronan the Collector. I've been in the NFT space for a while. I primarily do content creation in the space. I have a weekly podcast on YouTube called NFT Live, where we talk about the different news stories and things going on and do some really cool interviews and things with people in the space. We had Tom Bilyeu on this week talking about impact theory. Last couple of weeks ago, we had Mike Shinoda on talking about his art and Hic et Nunc. And then on the side, or besides that, I also am head of partner strategy for Gig Labs, where I help brands kind of figure out how they use NFT technology in a natural way for their brand.
That's great. Well, you do content creation, you do community cultivation and development and interaction. Talk to me a bit about community. What's your take on community? How do you like to build community? What type of communities do you want to be a part of? I'd love to get your insights on that.
Yeah, I think that what a lot of people realize coming into the NFT space is that, community is everything, right? Like at the end of the day, I think when you look at Web3 and what that means for the internet and for the world and for the future, it is decentralized and communities, I feel like, naturally build around things when you have that type of structure. So, community is everything. With NFT Live, we've been plugging away at this thing for over a year now. Every single week, we used to do it on Thursdays. We did it on Wednesdays for a while. Now we've settled on Tuesday afternoons. But every single week doing it. And it wasn't really until about, 90 days ago where we actually saw any real time of return on that. And the reason is because we spent the last year and a half building community. So shout out to the lads in our lads community who support us. And because of them and because of the people who show up and consume our content, we've been able to work out sponsorships and things like that with, natural sponsorships that make sense for us and for our viewers, right? So we had Bitlectro Labs was on, who did Dream Loops. They were a sponsor. Yacht and Animoca Brands were a sponsor for a few months. So it's really definitely a huge part of what we're building here. And I think that brands need to start understanding and appreciating what that means.
For NFT Live, I'd love to get insights in terms of what your take is on the tech available to do this content creation, right? You have Tom coming on, which congratulations for having guys like that would come on and chat with you. You have him coming on and you have obviously some limitations in terms of the tech available to do great content creation. Give me an insight on what's available today as a content creator around the NFT space and what you're using and why you're using it. And then maybe we'll talk about the future and what you hope to see in the near future around that.
Awesome. Yeah. So as far as the technology, I think it's really cool that, I'm here in Atlanta and my co-host is, up in the Northeast. And then we've got our director who actually, runs the show for us live, who's out in Seattle. So, it's one of those things where we use a piece of software that's super easy to use, and it's super easy to share links and have people guests join us and get kind of their natural, super high quality feed. So if you guys check out NFT Live, you'll see that our production quality is top notch. And that's thanks to the software that we do use. And then the name is totally slipping my mind at the moment, but I'm sure it'll hit me in a second. No.
There's so many of these.
It's one that most people don't know about it because it's actually more of a production grade software. Cool. So Microsoft was using it. Our director actually worked in-house for Microsoft for the past 12 months during COVID, where they were doing more than one virtual conference event daily. So he was, at their location all by himself with 8 laptops and running the software. And I don't know why I can't think of what the heck the name of the software is. vMix. It's called vMix. Great piece of software. So yeah. And what's cool about the technology, obviously, is that it's able to connect us, even though you have this physical gap, right? And I think that when you look at NFTs, not only do they help kind of close those gaps, they also help to kind of close the gaps of time and space, right? So like when you consider the fact that NFTs live on the blockchain and the hope is that they'll be in perpetuity, then you can really get to creators and brands and get them to understand that you can build on this thing as you go, right? Like a good example is one of our brand partners at Gig Labs is CNN, and they've been releasing some NFTs for the past couple of months. And a common question is what's the utility? Where do I get to like use these? How can I use these? Why is there value to these NFTs outside of being, moments that changed us? And it's really cool to see that, kind of talking to them and getting them to understand the space, them start to kind of cultivate what they're calling their not really a roadmap, but it's kind of a roadmap for next year, and see that they're actually building in this foundation of community and what that means and how it can push the technology forward. You said something about future earlier, and when we look at the future and what they can do with this tech and news, it's very interesting.
So if I say NFT 2024, and you put on just your content creator hat, right? Not the collector, not the community developer, but just creating content NFT live. You think, okay, a couple of years from now, what type of things are you thinking about when it comes to interviews, content creation? Are you thinking about doing this in the metaverse? Like, give me some projection of really cool things on your mind as you think out a couple of years from now.
Yeah, for sure. 2024 is going to be definitely heavily, I'm sure, tied into the metaverse. I mean, we've already done shows where, during the show, we'll jump into crypto voxels and we'll check out like an event live and things like that. But I think as far as content creation, I know we're pushing, just for like events like yourself and the event going on next year, thrown by NFT 42 in Vegas, where, we want to show up and we want to be able to do live content. We have the ability to kind of stand up almost a full production trailer, and it's no bigger than a laptop, right? So it's really cool. We're looking at doing a lot of stuff like that. When it comes to interviews, and when it comes to the content that we're producing, we really are positioning ourselves to be kind of like a bar stool of crypto content. We're bringing on content creators. Those content creators are producing their own branded series on our network, and we have one community that supports all of those brands, and it's proving to really help build the network. It's proving to build our community. And I think that when we get to 2024, we just launched our DAO a couple of months ago. The idea is that we are the first decentralized YouTube network, and what that means is that right now, the power is more so like the type of content creators that we're bringing in, where we're spending our funds. But in 2024, I'm sure it's going to come down to matters of, who's still on the network, what interviewers, come in, what projects we're bringing on and things like that. So a lot more voting power to the community in 2024. And then a lot of probably, hopefully real world, content as the NFT community kind of comes out of its shell a little bit and gets to hit the real world.
So if people want to find out more about this DAO, right, this decentralized YouTube, where should they go to find out about that? Because I think there's people that will be watching this that'll think to themselves, wait, what do you say? Rewind. Yeah. Where do I go? That sounds like a good move. So you want to give a destination for people to go check out?
Yep, super simple. If you guys just go to lads.city in your browser, hit enter, it's going to bring you to a landing page. That landing page will give you all the information about Lads City, our network, as well as Lads, the community, and kind of like what we're building and what we're about, and what our vibe is. So definitely check that out. And then if you want to follow on Twitter, it's the same thing at Lads City. You can also follow me personally at Ronan DACC, Ronan the Collector, Ronan the Collector.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. You are a very positive impact on the whole entire NFT community. I think people are thankful for the way you engage, the content you create, the projects you're involved in. So I look forward to seeing you in New York. And for those that are watching us live or that see the archive, thank you for your attention. I'll be back again with another pre-event interview